Hey guys, day 2 of 10 days of vlogging, and I just wanted to tell you my story, my full story, in as much detail as possible without being absolutely insane. I started self-harming probably when I was 5 or 6, and it wasn't a conscious decision. I don't think self-harm is something that I don't think it's something that everybody goes into knowing what they're doing. Because like I said, I was 5 or 6. You don't just sit there and say, okay, well, I'm really upset now, so I'm going to hurt myself. No, I don't think that's how it went. I mean, it's possible that's how it was, but I don't believe that in my heart. But I started out, when I was 5 or 6, I started picking at my lips, and when people started noticing that, I started picking at my ears, and from my ears I went to my scalp, and my scalp was my hot spot. So I was self-harming because of family issues. I have a mentally delayed brother, and we moved a lot, and I don't know. My grandma had cancer, and I was so close to her, so it was really devastating to see her sick and to see her not getting better. And, she'd go into remission and then she'd get sick again. And I was thinking to myself, how much longer can this go on? Like, I can't see her like this anymore. And eventually she died, which was really hard on everybody. I wouldn't let myself cry a lot. Like, the first day, I cried nonstop, and I think I probably cried at the funeral, but mostly I didn't let myself cry because no. You don't cry. Like, my grandpa didn't want to see me cry because, in his mind I should have always been happy and should have been, smiling and whatever, so I didn't cry. It was just like, well, Grandpa doesn't want to see me upset, so I won't be. And I didn't let myself grieve there. And then Grandpa and I were super, super close, like even more so than we were when Grandma was alive. And I was going to see him all the time and whatever. And then came the curveball where his sons and daughters decided they wanted to put him in a nursing home. And at that point, he wasn't really sick, in my opinion. So I was angry, and I didn't understand why they needed to put him in a nursing home, and I thought they were just cruel, and, I didn't understand. I still don't, I guess, understand why they had to put him in there, because it did not take very long at all, a couple months, and he didn't even recognize me. Like, he didn't even remember my name. And that was the most heartbreaking thing in the entire world because, we were so close, and then he didn't even remember me. And he died later on in 2011, 2010. I don't know. I try to not remember the date because I go around mourning all day if I remember. But he died in February, and it broke my heart. Like, it was the most earth-shattering thing in the whole world because Grandpa was my best friend, and I felt like maybe I could have seen him more, and maybe I could have stopped them from putting him there somehow, and I don't know. I felt guilty and felt depressed, and it was not a good scene. We moved a lot when I was younger. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we did. We moved 14 times when I was a kid, and it's always difficult. Blah. And I don't know, the self-harm got worse, and then Chrissy and I started Soup in March of last year, and it was more to help the two of us than to help anybody else, but I think if we have helped ourselves and we've helped one other person, then that's more than enough, you know. And in April, I don't even remember what was happening. I just remember feeling stupid and feeling not good enough and not okay, you know, enough to run soup anyway. And it was just like, well, Chrissy could do this so much better without me. And then in late March, there was a suicide that I wasn't close to the girl, but Chrissy was, and I just felt horrible. I felt like it was my fault. I felt like I could have saved her, and I just had all this guilt, and I felt so horrible. And mixed with everything else, it got worse and worse and worse, and I had enough, and I was just like, I am done. And I told myself I was going to kill myself on April 22nd of 2012. And I would have went through with that. I know in my heart I would have went through with that if I hadn't seen my favorite band one last time. My dad drove me 3 hours to see Voda in Kitchener, Ontario, and they played Honestly, which was Chrissy and I's song. It still is our song, you know, our friendship song. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, because the song is about letting people in to see what, you know, the darkest parts of you, so they can see the light, you know, that will shine through you eventually. Well, maybe not even eventually, but maybe there's rays of light that you just can't see yet, mixed into the darkness. And so they played Honestly, which I'd never seen them play before, and it just, like, completely just broke me. I cried. I actually openly cried at that concert, which I don't do hardly ever. And I thought, okay, maybe this is a sign. Maybe this means I should stay. Maybe I shouldn't kill myself tomorrow. And then they played their song Alright, which is literally the best song ever. And the chorus is, everything is going to be just fine. You know that nothing can stop me now. Rain's falling from the sky, but my day is shining bright. This love is going to turn my world upside down, and it's going to be alright. And in the bridge, there's a line that says, hang on, I have to think of the actual line now. It's, why don't you just let it go? Stop trying to make it on your own. Why don't you just let it go? Stop trying to make it on your own. Yeah, you've got something to live for. It's always easier to sing it than it is to say it. But anyways, there was a breakdown in the song with that line in it, and Brian Olsen, the lead singer, he stops at the microphone and he says, "Canada, you've got something to live for." And I actually have that on videotape, but I was like, wow, okay. So I met the band afterwards, and I was already convinced that I couldn't do this to myself. I couldn't kill myself just yet, you know. If I had to kill myself, I'd wait. And I met the band afterwards for the second time. I met them once before, and they were just super nice to me. They were so genuine and so caring and compassionate, and they were just like, they actually cared about me. Like, you could look into their eyes and just know that you knew that they were being genuine with you when they talked, and they weren't just like, oh yeah, I'm doing fine, whatever. But, you know, it was a real interaction that made me feel like I had a real reason to be there. Like, people they can ask you how you're doing, and, you know, you're just like, oh, I'm fine, but you can just be dying inside, you know. But they just, you ask the band how they were doing, and you just felt like they were genuine. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I knew that I couldn't do it. So I didn't. And I'm really thankful that I didn't. There are nights that I still wish I had, and I'd wish, I'd say that Brian wouldn't care if I killed myself, and I told myself, nobody would care if I died, and they'd be all better off without me. And I have a whole list of reasons why it'd be better if I'd killed myself. But as a counter to my it'd be better list, I have a list of reasons in this jar as to why it's better that I'm still here, and reasons why I am here. Like, I've decided this is my favorite jar because when I'm sad, sorry, I can't get the lid off. When I'm sad, it has happy things in it. And I'm always going to replace it with another happy thing. And so that forces me to think of another happy thing in my sad place. So this one says reading something new. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's the little things that make or break you, right? So, yeah. I have my list of reasons that I can't kill myself now. And I'm sure I have Voda in there at least 6 times. Because I cannot thank that band enough for what they did for me. And maybe I'll never get the chance to say that to them in person, although I really pray I do. But I just know that they mean so much to me. And, yeah. But suicide has crossed my mind a lot. And I'm so glad I never did it. And depression is one of those things that just, like, it's there, but I will not let it beat me. I won't. I can't. I physically cannot do that to myself or my friends or my family. I'm not going to let it do that. And it can only make or break me if I let it. So, I will beat my depression because I can. And self-harm, I'm happy to announce that I have doubled my record. And as of tomorrow, I will be 12 weeks free. So this is pretty amazing. It's still really hard, and I almost relapsed so often. Like, a couple weeks ago, I started to pick, but I didn't do it for self-harm purposes, so I didn't count it. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have started again, but I didn't feel like it was self-harm, and it wasn't, like, it didn't hurt, it didn't bleed, and I didn't see that it was going to be an issue. And I asked several people, and they said, don't start your count over. But, I don't know. Maybe I should have. Maybe you should tell me. I don't know. But, last night I almost relapsed, but I didn't. So, I have to take it day by day. And, I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to fight this because I know that one day I will beat depression, and I will, as long as every day I'm living is a day that I'm not giving in. So I think that's pretty cool. And I'm not gonna stop fighting, and I hope you don't either. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow.